What your girlfriend said. Girlfriend said.
Hey, that's great. The chefs.
Not going anywhere for a while?
Very googly, boogly.
Grab a Snickers.
You spell it.
You're not doing it.
This is a Kansas City chef. They look right.
And you.
To go along with the other problems you might have had regarding remembering first and last words only if you just try to remember by looking at the words and just imprinting them in your brain. Another thing that we've noticed is that we, being me and scientists of the world, is that you can only really remember 7 plus or minus 2 objects at a time in this way. And so what I mean by that is most people on average remember about 7 things, but some people are at about 5, some people up to 9. But beyond that, it gets really difficult to keep all these things in your brain as a list at the same time. This is why phone numbers are set the way they are, with an area code, a 3-digit kind of specific code to the city, and then the other 4
It was all the
numbers
cops' fault.
make it a little
You
bit
don't put
easier
guys
to
like that
remember
anywhere.
them.
You get it.
Of course, now with cell phones,
knows what
you
to
probably
do.
don't know anybody's phone number.
And me,
but
the
at least that's
you
why
fucking
they're
cocksucker.
Why me? Why not Fester and McManus or Hockney? Why me? I'm stupid, I'm a cripple, why me?
Because you're a cripple, Verbal. Because you're stupid. Because you're weaker than them. If he's dead, if what you say is true, then it won't matter. It was his idea to hit the taxi service in New York, wasn't it? Come on, tell me the truth.
It was all Keaton. We followed him from the beginning. I didn't know. I saw him die. I believe he's dead. Oh, Christ.
You're not safe on your own.
You think he...
Kaiser Sose? I don't know, Verbal. Kaiser Sose is a shield, or like you said, a spook story. But I know Keaton, and someone is out there pulling strings for you. Stay here and let us protect you.
No way. I'm not bait. I post today.
You posted 20 minutes ago. Captain Leo wants you out of here ASAP, unless you turn states.
I'll take my chances. Thank you.
If someone wants to get you, they're gonna get you out there. Turn states evidence. You might never see trial.
Maybe so. But I'm not a rat, Agent Kuyan. Fucking cops.
Can I use your fax machine?
I have to sign for these. Okay. 1 watch, gold. 1 cigarette lighter, gold. 1 pack of cigarettes, thank you.
You still got nothing, Dave. I know what I wanted to know about Keaton.
Just nothing.
No matter. He'll have to know how close we came.
Kaiser Sose or no Kaiser Sose. If he's alive, he's not coming up again.
I'll find him.
Waste of time.
A rumor's not a rumor that doesn't die.
What?
Nothing. Man, you're a slob.
Yeah, but it all has its sisters, Dave. Don't make sense when you look at it right. You gotta stand back from it, you know. You wanna see a real horror show? See my garage.
Convince me. And tell me every last
Back when I was in that barbershop vortex, Skokie, Illinois.
Where's your head, Agent Kuyan?
What we need to do is think. Think back.
I'm sure you've heard many tall tales, Brixmont.
This isn't right.
I just want to hear your story.
It's all there. And I'm telling it straight, I swear. Some guy in California, his name is Redfoot.
Gift from Mr. Sose.
Talk to me, Verbal.
What about Redford?
Mr. Redfoot Knew nothing. Using pawns.
Big, fat guy. I mean, like orca fat. Was
And amidst the legends of Kobayashi.
Back when I was making beans in Guatemala, we used to make fresh coffee.
I know you thought he was a good man.
I know he was good.
And tell me every last detail.
Strangest thing.
How do you shoot the devil in the back?
This orphan is protected from up on high by the prince.
Tell me every
What
last
about a
detail.
pretzel, man? What's your story?
There was a lawyer.
What lawyer, Verbal?
I am Mr. Kobayashi.
Kobayashi.
Tell me every last detail.
I work for Kaiser Soze.
Convince me. Convince me. Convince me. Every creeping scumbag that works the street for a living will know the name of Verbal Kint. The cripple, did you see him? The cripple, which way did he go?
He went out that way.
I know you know something. I know you're not telling you say so. I'm smarter than you. And I'm gonna find out what I want to know, whether you like it or not.
To a cop, the explanation is never that.
You know what I'm getting at, Verbal, the truth!
Come on, bro.
Who do you think you're the street? No arch criminal at all?
Somebody with power. There was somebody who was capable of tracking us.
You think a guy is close to getting caught and sticks his head out?
You get no Kaiser me. Because you're stupid, Verbal. Because you're a cripple.
I want to know who's the gimp.
You know the whole fucking time!
If he comes up for any reason, get rid of me.
I'm sure Keaton is dead.
I can't feel my legs. Kaiser.
First thing I learned on the job, you know what it was? How to spot a murderer.
Tell me you got the cripple in there from New York.
Yeah.
He mentioned Kaiser Soze.
Who?
After that, my guess is you'll never hear from him again. The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist. And like that, he's gone.
That's why zip codes are only 5 numbers. Fuck you talking about? People to remember them. The other way.
I'm trying to tell you how much I admire you. And you're pretty white.
Detective William Somerset is looking for a way out.
You're retiring. 6 more days and you're all the way gone.
Too long. Detective David Mills is looking for a way in.
We'll be spending every waking hour together from now till the time I leave. I'll show you who your friends and enemies are. Look, I've worked homicide 5 years, not here.
Now,
Ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves a homicide.
they're caught in a game
No fingerprints, and no witnesses of any kind.
Nope. About the only thing we know about that guy right now is he's totally insane.
where the price of sin is death.
There are 7 deadly sins. Gluttony,
Charlie Chaplin entered a Charlie Chaplin lookalike contest in Monte Carlo and came in 3rd. Now that's a story. This is something else.
It's disturbing how easily a member of the press can purchase information from the men in your precinct. I visited your home this morning, after you'd left. I tried to play husband. I tried to taste the life of a simple man. It didn't work out. So, I took a souvenir. Her pretty head.
Give me your gun. What's going on over there? Put the gun down. I saw you with the box. What was in the box?
Because I envy your normal life.
Put the gun down, David.
It seems that envy is my sin.
No, what's in the box? Not till you give me the gun. What's in the fucking box? Give me the gun.
He just told you.
You lie! You're a fucking liar! Shut up! That's what he wants. He wants you to shoot him. No! No! You tell me.
Kansas
Tell me
City
that's not true. That's not true.
Become
There's a lot of
vengeance.
people.
Ah, she's
People
all right.
connected only
Tell
by
me.
the slightest of events.
Why don't you just go ahead and give me your
Tell me she's all right! You murdered a suspect, David. No! Just throw it all away, you know. No!
She begged for her life, Detective.
Shut up!
She begged for her life.
Shut up.
And for the life of the baby inside of her. He's supposed to be Turkish. Some say his father was German. Nobody ever believed he was real. Nobody ever knew him or saw anybody that ever worked directly for him. But to hear Kobayashi tell it anybody could have worked for Soze, you never knew. Oh, that was his power. The greatest trick He didn't know.
The devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.
One story the guys told me, the story I believe, was from his days in Turkey. There was a gang of Hungarians that wanted their own mob. They realized that to be in power,
Give me the gun,
guns, or money, or even numbers. You just needed the will to do what the other did. After a while, they come into power, and then they come after Soze. He was small time then, just running dope, they say.
He will win.
They come to his home in the afternoon, looking for his business. They find his wife and kids in the house and decide to wait for Soze. He comes home to find his wife raped and children screaming. The Hungarians knew Soze was tough, not to be trifled with, so they let him know they meant business. They tell him they want his territory, all his business. Soze looks over the faces of his family. Then he showed these men of Will what Will really was. He tells him he would rather see his family dead than live another day after that. He lets the last Hungarian go. He waits until his wife and kids are in the ground, and then he goes after the rest of the mob. He kills their kids, he kills their wives, he kills their parents and their parents'
There is no such person as Levin Kalevra, as far as I can tell. Which means the kid was using a pseudonym, which is kind of interesting, him picking the name of a dead racehorse and keeping company with the boss and the rabbi, seeing as how they had some involvement with that very same horse.
And the stories they work in,
maybe it means something.
He kills people that
Then
owe him
again,
money.
maybe it's just a coincidence.
Like
Name got to come from someplace, right?
He's gone.
I guess none of this really matters now that the kid's gone cold.
Underground. Nobody's ever seen him since. He becomes a myth, a spook story.
One more thing.
Criminals tell their kids at night,
Got a new guy
rat
in
on
the
your pop.
precinct. Jewish fellow, funny little guy, talks a lot. Anyway, in case you're interested, he says the name Kalevra is Hebrew. Says it means
Bad dog.
Do you believe in God?
Keaton always said, I don't believe in God. I'm afraid of him. Well, I believe in God.
20 years ago, he used to
And
be
the only
my
thing
bookie.
that scares
Used to
me
sign my paychecks over there.
is Kaiser Soze.
Bukowski, you there?
Gluttony,
You want to come take a look at this?
greed,
No one touches anything.
sloth, wrath, pride, lust, and envy. 7. You can expect 5 more of these.
Body was found on Tuesday morning.
I hate this city.
We're gonna get who did this.
This will be the very definition of swift justice.
There are 2 more bodies, 2 more victims.
This guy is methodical, exacting, and worst of all, patient.
It's what they called back then a drugstore handicap. Guy wants what the fella calls a sure thing, so he schemes to make it so. He calls in the doc, a nobbler from Antwerp, known for his savvy but not for his discretion.
Oh, fuck it, baby. Fuck it, baby. Come on,
Same
baby.
could be said for Doc's jelly on the side, Gloria.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Almost.
Hey, which horse did you say it was again, baby?
Which brings us to Abe, because Gloria was too much jelly for one outfit.
Hey, baby. Is your wife around?
What do you want?
Who is it, Abe?
Seymour.
Sure. Tell that bitch to open her eyes. Maybe then she'd see more.
Seymour says hello. What are you doing calling me here?
Christmas came early this year, baby. I got a present for you. Remember my friend Doc?
Now, Abe wasn't a nosy fella, but he had a nose. And right below his nose was his mouth.
Do you remember Gloria, the hooker? Well, Gloria's got this friend, Doc, who's got a line on a doped-up racehorse. The fix is in at Aqueduct. 7 horse, 10th race.
Doped up? And then there was this joker who had ears,
You had, huh? Let's get back.
and who looked like he could be somebody's uncle.
Hey, Max, who's your favorite uncle? Okay, who's your second favorite uncle? Just pay attention. I got something here.
And before you know it, folks are getting a big dose of the gimmies. And men start talking their hats off, and that Manischewitz grapevine wine spills in your ear and tells you got a sure thing, and what's worse is, you start to believe it.
Some say his father was German. Nobody ever believed he was real. Nobody ever knew him or saw anybody that ever worked directly for him. But to hear Kobayashi tell it anybody could have worked for Soze, you never knew. That was his power. The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist. He's gone. Underground. Nobody's ever seen him since. He becomes a myth, a spook story that criminals tell their kids at night, rat on your pop, and Kaiser Soze will get you. And no one ever really believes.
Do you believe in him,
He
Verbal?
said, I don't believe in God.
But I'm afraid of him. Well, I believe in God. And the only thing that scares me is Kaiser Soze.
He's laughing at us.
He had a gun.
He's 2 murders away from completing his masterpiece. Let's finish it. Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman, Gwyneth Paltrow. Have you ever seen anything like this? No. 7.
You must be Mr. Fisher.
Must I? Because it hasn't been working out for me lately.
But I'm afraid you must.
Well, if I must.
Do you know for what reason you've been brought here?
For starters, I'm unlucky.
You're unlucky and nothing more than a frame of reference for the lucky Mr. Fisher.
It's what they called back then a drugstore handicap. Guy wants what the fella calls a sure thing. He calls
Frame of reference for the lucky Mr. Fisher. You are unlucky, so that I may know that I'm not. Unfortunately, the lucky never realize they are lucky until it's too late. Take yourself, for instance. Yesterday, you were better off than you are today, but it took today for you to realize it. But today has arrived, and it's too late, you see? People are never happy with what they have. They always want what they had, what someone else has.
Kind of like a rabbi who'd rather be a gangster who'd rather be a rabbi.
So that's
I mean, what is
Kansas
that?
City
Some sort of
shot.
grass is always greener on the other side of the fence thing?
It's just
I mean, how do you
inside
justify being a rabbi and a gangster?
This is a
I don't.
Kansas City shuffle.
I'm a bad man who doesn't waste time wondering what could have been when I am what could have been and could not have been. I live on both sides of the fence. The grass is always green. Consider Mr. Fisher. There are 2 men sitting here before you, and one of them you should be very afraid of. Where's my money?
I don't have your money.
This isn't like skipping out on the check. You owe me money. I have interests. You owe them money.
I don't even know how much money I owe you.
$33,000.
But I'm not Nick Fisher.
And who the hell are you?
I'm just a guy who was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
You have 48 hours to get my money. Saul will keep an eye on you. In the meantime, you may go now.
Wait, I just have one question. I wasn't frisked. I see. So, being a rabbi, a religious man.
There are 3 things that you may not do in order to save a life, including his own. You may not idol worship, commit adultery, or perform an act of premeditated murder. Killing you before you kill me would have been
kosher.
Acceptable.
Well, listen, your boys, Elvis and Slow, picked up the wrong guy. I'm not Nick Fisher.
Mr. Fisher, are you familiar with the Shmoo, Mr. Fisher? Comic strip I liked as a boy. The Shmoo was a lovable creature, really. Laid eggs, gave milk, and died of sheer ecstasy when looked at with hunger. The Shmoo loved to be eaten and could taste like any food you desire. Shmoo hide, cut thin, made fine leather. Even Shmoo whiskers made excellent toothpicks. In essence, the Shmoo supplied all of the world's wants. I only bring up the case of the Shmoo because of its relevance to you and the reason you were brought here.
I'm sorry, who are you?
I'm the boss.
I thought he was the boss.
Why? Do we look alike? So, Mr. Fisher, you were going to tell me something?
I don't know, you brought me here.
Yes, I did, but back when you thought I was him.
I never thought you were him, I thought he was you. And I was trying to tell you that they picked up the wrong guy.
Wrong guy for what?
Whatever it is you want to see me about.
Do you know what I want to see you about?
No.
Then how do you know I have the wrong guy?
Because I'm not
Maybe
Nick
I
Fisher.
want to give you $96,000 In that case, do I still have the wrong guy?
Do you want to give me $96,000?
No. Do you want to give me $96,000?
No. Should I?
I don't know. Should you?
I don't know. Should I?
Long story short,
I think we're well past that
I bet it
point.
was that mouth that got you that nose.
Okay, how about the impression that you're under the impression that I owe you $96,000?
You owe Slim Hopkins $96,000.
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled
Slim owes me.
was convincing the world he didn't
You owe
exist.
me.
And like that,